Good evening, everybody. It is Charlie here, and welcome back to another video on the Chatting Leeds YouTube channel. Hope everyone's doing all right today, as always, and hope everyone's had a great start to the week. Hopefully, this week is going to be more positive and not as crazy in the world of Leeds United Football Club. Just before we get into tonight's upload, guys, please smash a like on the video as always. It really does help get the video out there. Please subscribe if you are brand new to the channel so I can reach 3,000 subscribers as soon as possible. Hit the notification bell so that you're always aware of when I'm uploading and going live. And of course, get all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. I'm always interested to get your guys' perspectives. So then, we'll react to the day's news then, shall we? Where do we begin? Obviously, firstly, Jack Harrison has now completed his move to Everton. It is just a straight season-long loan. There is an option in there, apparently, that Everton can make the deal permanent at any point this season, which, in a way, I hope they do, just so that we can recoup a bit of a fee for him. It is rather frustrating that it is an initial loan deal, obviously, given the fact that we were about to sell him for 20 million to Leicester in January. I think in hindsight now, looking back at that, we probably should have just sold him, in all honesty. But hey ho, it is what it is. Obviously, there was a deadline for all these where all these loan clauses won't be active from, and that day is today, apparently. So hopefully now there isn't as many loan deals happening, or if it is, then it isn't part of a loan clause. I think, like, I'm talking about the likes of Koch, Aronson, Mark Rocker, Harrison, players like that. They all had a loan clause which expired today, which means they had to exercise that clause before today. So that hopefully that's all done now. But yeah, as for Harrison, himself, he was always, inconsistent, but he always gave everything for the shirt. Um, but it's weird. I'm not that sad to see him go. I think it's just because my mind is obviously elsewhere with regards to Leeds United at the minute. There's that much going on that you can't really focus on Harrison leaving just solely on its own, because there's that much going on at the minute. It's hard to keep track. But yeah, Jack Harrison completes his loan move to Everton. Fair enough. As for Willie Gnonto, apparently he's performed a shock U-turn. Obviously, Leeds United have told him that he won't be sold and that he's not for sale, and that if anyone wants to buy him, they'll have to pay upwards of £30 million. Nobody's going to pay that for him, in my opinion. Yes, I know there's Romeo Lavia, who looks like he's going to Chelsea for about 50 odd million, who's around a similar age to Gnonto and everything, but different situations. I think, given obviously, I know Southampton got relegated as well, but I just don't think Gnonto did much for Leeds, whereas Lavia had an amazing season for Southampton. Whereas Gnonto had a few good games, and that was about it. But apparently, Gnonto is now open to staying at Leeds United, due to the obviously club telling him basically that he's not being sold. So he's having to just get on with it. A few different ways you can look at it. You can look at it and say, well, as if it's not a stupid PR apology and he just gets his head down and gets on with it. Fair enough. Or you can look at it as, no, he's refused to play and he should never play for the club again. I'm a bit on the fence with it. Obviously, I agree that people say he should never play for the club again. I think there shouldn't be a way back for him now. But I was watching Chris on All Leeds TV earlier, and he hit the nail on the head. Football fans are fickle. If Gnonto came back, got his head down, started playing well, and started scoring goals every week in the Championship, we'd all forget about it and we'd move on. But I think he's for now, at the minute, he has burnt that bridge. I don't think he'll play in the first team for quite some time if he is to stay at the club. In a way, I am hoping that they can facilitate him a move, because you don't want bad apples and rats like that playing for our football club. The same goes for Sinisterra as well. Obviously, his agent has been touting him out for Marseille. Apparently, Feyenoord are interested in taking him back on a loan deal. It's all a bit crazy at the minute. Obviously, Sini didn't want to aggravate his niggling injury in the hope that he gets a move. Obviously, But on the flip side of that, the 49ers have said that obviously Tyler Adams and Luis Sinisterra are two players that they really do want to keep hold of, and they are optimistic that they can keep hold of them. I wouldn't be so sure. I think maybe Sini, maybe, but I think Tyler Adams, given that he had a medical at Chelsea before all that fell through, now they've got Caicedo and they're about to get Lavia as well. I think he'll either go to Brighton or he will move on at some point in this window. So that brings us on to a potential incoming, then obviously a potential Tyler Adams replacement in the form of Glenn Kamara at Rangers. It is a name that's been linked previously, of course. I have spoken about him on the channel before, but apparently that is gathering a little bit more pace. There's reports circulating that Leeds United are in advanced talks with Rangers of the signing of Glenn Kamara. Fee in the region of about £5 million, which is the fee that's been reported for a while now. On the on the flip side to that, though, Michael Beale, the Rangers manager, was asked about it in an interview, saying, "Is there any truth in the Glenn Kamara to Leeds United links?" And he said that there's nothing in that link at the moment. There's nothing to it. It isn't happening at the moment. Is he just saying that to kind of avoid going into it in more detail, or is it actually true? Who knows? It is a story that's been gathering pace for quite some time, so I believe there must be an element of truth to it. It might not be advanced talks, but they may have obviously made initial contact with Rangers about the possibility of signing Glenn Kamara as well. There's Nat Phillips that's also being linked throughout the whole window. Are they working on that behind the scenes as well? There's been a lot of noise about that for a few days now, but then again, it could be something that they are just working on in the background. And the most interesting bit of news to speak about today is that Graham Smith at the Yorkshire Evening Post did a report today. It was released on Twitter, where obviously he mentioned that the club are optimistic they can keep hold of Sinisterra, keep hold of Adams, even though I don't think we will, but fair enough if they feel like that. And he also said that Leeds United have made a bid for an unnamed striker. So we've made a bid for a striker. We don't know who it is. And obviously the Leeds United Twitter sphere and social media sphere has gone into absolute frenzy trying to work out who this striker is. I've seen there was something on Wacko that apparently it's a striker that's played for Leeds United before. So I was thinking, well, who could that be? There's people saying it could be Chris Wood, Ollie McBurney, given that he's a Leeds lad. I'm just like, no, if it's Chris Wood or Ollie McBurney, then what are we doing? Like, what are we actually doing if it's any of those? There's Perot at Swansea, which we know the club have been interested in, but it's looking likely that he's going to stay at Swansea unless a real top bid comes in. But the striker that a lot of people are hoping that it is, and given that it's been reported by Ben Jacobs apparently that Leeds United are interested in signing Aston Villa forward Cameron Archer. Now, the reason why this is probably a legitimate interest is that Aston Villa are on the verge of signing Zaniolo from Galatasaray on an initial loan with an option to make permanent for about 22 million euros. Once that deal is signed, sealed and delivered, which according to Fabrizio Romano, it's very close to being so, then that opens the door. Obviously, Aston Villa have put Cameron Archer up for sale. And it'd be interesting to see, if Leeds United are interested in, is Cameron Archer this striker that they've made a bid for? I know the thing on Wacko said it's a striker that's played for Leeds before, but that might just end up being a load of rubbish. Hopefully Cameron Archer is the striker that we've made a bid for. There's also, I believe, an Everton's forward. Is it Cannon or someone like that? Never heard of him. Apparently he's been valued at about 8 million quid. That's a lot to pay for someone that isn't really known or proven in the Championship. Cameron Archer, on the other hand, if you're paying anything between 8 and 12 million for him, proved it in the Championship for Middlesbrough last season. Very, very good young player. Aston Villa are apparently wanting a buyback clause in the deal. Okay, you might just have to do that. I think short term he'll be a real asset to Leeds United. That is potentially something that Leeds could worry about further down the line. I think he would fit the system really well. I think he'd be a perfect Daniel Farker striker. But again, guys, we need more. Glenn Kamara, if that happens, great, but we need more. Cameron Archer, amazing signing, but we still need more. I think Connor at One Leeds has said it. I've seen a lot of creators say it, and a lot of, just Leeds fans in general on Twitter say it, and it is right. I think we need about 5 or 6 signings over the next, 17, 18 days. We need 5 or 6 signings. We've heard nothing today that's absolutely concrete. Yes, we've heard links to, Archer and to Glenn Kamara, but there's been no concrete from Phil Hay, from Fabrizio Romano, David Ornstein, anyone. Been no concrete news. So it's not a great start to the week, obviously, with us losing Harrison, hearing this stuff about Sinistera, and obviously no transfer incoming links, but if Glenn Kamara and Cameron Archer are real and genuine interest, then I'm glad. But again, we do definitely need more, and hopefully we can have a little bit more of a positive week. There is a game on Friday as well, which at the minute I'm not looking forward to, given the state of this squad against West Bromwich Albion at Ellen Road. I will be there. I'm dreading going down. But hopefully, in terms of transfers and things, it can be a bit more of a positive week and we start to hear something soon, guys. So yeah, that brings us to the end of this upload, guys. Really hope that you've all enjoyed it. As always, on your way out, if you could smash a like on the video, that would be greatly appreciated. Please subscribe to the channel if you are brand new, hit the notification bell, and of course get all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.